Hello everybody, hopefully you're all doing good. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff here in today's video to get you prepared for next week. And if you're new and you haven't checked out the moon landing trading course, please do, so that we all speak the same language. Now let's see what's going on. Big week for this guy who still hasn't put in all-time highs. I'm of course talking about the Dow Jones. You got plenty of names in there reporting earnings. We'll see how they act. So obviously the tech earnings, meaning chips earnings that we've had, have been really good. A lot of $10 movers you can take a stab at coming this week. More chips, as I said, industrials. We got the Rocket Boys, right? Always interesting. We got some more banks, regionals. We have Tesla, Google, IBM, Food, QS. That whole space has been really pushing as of late. So, what do we got here? Well, this is on the weekly, and last week you can see a lot of green volume. Most of green volume we've had on the Dow Jones actually since we put in a low. That's pretty bullish for the Dow Jones. That does not mean that it's gonna be an absolute smasher on SPY or NQ. And at the same time, you got this Stowe maxing out. But what you really want to keep an eye on then, on the daily here, this has been coming down, right? So if you have a shit Monday, you could really catch a bounce. Now on all of these indices, doesn't matter if it's the Dow Jones, the NQ, or SPY, you'll see this hammer candle. The question now becomes, is it a hammer candle and we go to an extended target, or do we need to come and retest it? I had a trend change on Saturday, so that can be plus minus 1 day. So we're not out of the woods here on any of these guys. The next big one I have is again plus minus 1 day, Monday the 28th. So with that said, and this is where I personally always have an issue, is, you know, you get used to buying the dip for so long. What's next? Well, let's pull up here the sports calendar. We did put in a high, sure, it was at open on Friday. These yellow ones here are marked as Fridays. Do we absolutely shit the bed this week? That is the question. So what can happen is price either corrects through movement or through consolidation. What do you mean? Well, yes. Is there buyers up here? Is anybody buying stock here? No. Price movement is more so done through options flow or with other stuff that pushes the broader market, like the BICs or treasuries or whatnot. Because the big boys are in right here, okay? Holding big positions. So will we go higher? Yes. Two things can happen. We either come down, first of all, on Monday. What I'm looking for is, this pattern was pretty weak end of day Friday. I was trying to get a ripper because it could have fucking paid. It should have gone, but it never did. So it's a weak pattern, right? And we caught the lows this week and this and that. But we have a target that you should mark, which is 62.70. Normally, that should happen like within the first 2 hours on Monday. So what you'd like to see is a gap down and a sell, right? So Monday we got early low. If a early low pattern is weak, it sells all day. Okay? Tuesday I got early high with a possible rally. Wednesday early high. Thursday early low. Friday early high. Posted in the full moon circle. But that would literally be a retest of the 50. That would be a pretty decent long spot here in the big scheme of things, because we have consolidated. Other possibilities, we absolutely shit the bed. You have a double bottom here. It's not gonna be as strong the next time. If you go to 6200, it's already bounced one time. Remember, we caught it on Wednesday. So it'll be weaker. It might still bounce. Might be supported by the daily 21. If we go down to here, you want that daily 21 to be over this spot, and you want the daily one to bounce it. So it's always good to rock different time frames and check. Last week I spoke about this 50, that I don't think the end of the year rally starts until we hit it. See that? That's the gap. The 50 has come to the gap. At this point in time, that 50 is going to cross this gap until we ever go and fill it. Which means there's even time to bring that 200 up, right? And with the premises that we have a massive rally that will take us into the 7,000s on this end of year, just know that. Okay, that's why the price is still hanging out here. He said we will keep it at all-time highs, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna take the liberty and go with that and say we go sideways. So us having a big turn signal here, I'm getting the same date on 2. Something big will happen around this time. Obviously we know what it is, but it'll probably be plus 2 days, I think. But anyways, we'll get to that. But for this week, I'm still buying dips. And how far down? Well, again, those 2 levels are really good to go by. If this just wants to keep on chugging, it's gonna go here. Why is it gonna go there? Well, we had that upside target on SPY, right? 642. Let's pull up Mr. Spider here for a sec. Where are you? Here you are. Okay, so we got 642. I haven't even marked it, but that is a print we have that matches up with this, right? That's where the Bollinger Band on the weekly is. It's turning up. And if you go on the monthly here, that's turning up too, still. We just had a bullish MACD cross on it. So you're better off sitting on some... Okay, great question. How do you trade this? I know you didn't obviously say it out loud, but I can feel it in your head. How do you trade this? Well, there's only really one way to do it. You watch this 4-hour stow. When it bottoms out, you buy. See? for the more volatile stuff, you got to be dialed in on SPX. I was actually thinking of doing a course on how I scalp SPX. I'm sure a lot of people will dig that using the gamma. But that's how you trade this. You gotta wait, because price isn't grinding higher. You see, it's starting to get volatile, right? So you want to have money and not be shaking in your boots from the money you lost psychologically when it dumps, when it pierces this Bollinger Band, right? That's when you want to grab and fucking catch the ripper that every single time has gone to the top of the Bollinger Band. What's interesting here is the Bollinger Band is now expanding. And we have a turn signal from Friday. Well, there's your top, right? There's the pierce. How low do we go? Okay. Do I think we absolutely crap out here? No, I don't think so. We just got a new financial system on Friday. I don't know if you're aware of it, but we did. And it is indeed the beast system. Okay. It's wrapped in a bunch of fucking bows though. Let's go, before we start looking at some data, let's go through some of these bad boys. So Meta, a lot of buying on Friday end day. Nice hammer candle. Breached my level. It's actually pretty strong here. Bumping in. Probably spent some time here. And then on earnings, which are Wednesday the 30th, I am playing upside. Yes, my beloved Meta. Look at that daily stow, bottomed out. What's not to like? I might even grab some this week early on, especially if we don't dump. Okay, I posted in the Full Moon Circle forum. They loaded Meta 950s for a lot of fucking money for August 15th. How's that? What do you think about that? Honestly, what do you think about that? That is pretty cracky. Anyways, so just so you know, like, they are looking for a fucking move here. Could come. Nvidia, we caught Nvidia. We had over 900% on this bad boy here. We caught that and fucking that. It was great. Am I going to be playing it a lot? No, because it's now needs to consolidate. Will I take it on gap fill? Yes. And it'll probably go down here when the 21 goes up there. Avgo. Avgo, in my opinion, is going to absolutely send it on earnings whenever that might be, end of August. Okay, groovy. SMCI still hasn't done the move. This is still playable. I mean, look at that. This thing, whatever this was called, price index, just pulled a little bit of a green week here. This thing is lagging hard. It's gonna go gap fill and it's gonna go up there. So this is actually, again, could be an interesting premium play coming up in the next few weeks. Whoa. What's going on over there? Don Jr. bagging people. What else is new? Sorry if anybody got bagged on that. That's terrible. Anyways, this guy, this was the best trade of the week. This ran 1400%. Now, again, I sniffed it out early this morning, held some, didn't catch full, position the whole mood. That, even though I caught Oracle for which was also great. I think that ran 1200% or something. This move here, psychologically kind of fucked up the rest of my week, because you know, you find an awesome play, you're de-risking a little bit because you're getting chopped up on some SPX premiums, and the fear creeps in and you don't have full position anymore, and then it goes, yes, I caught the move, but I could have caught the move for like weeks instead of days. So then you gotta not let it consume you and snowball, because there's more trades. Hot sector, uranium, nuclear, all that shit, they are still, I'm actually gonna pull it up. They are running all of these pretty strongly. Any retest, in my opinion, is a buy. This one I told you guys to keep an eye on. In the day they came in to this hard off that daily 9. This still has squeeze potential to 36. I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze this week and it goes there. Okay, so might want to add that to the premium watch list. I haven't really traded this honestly too much, guys, even though I said I would all summer, and then I kind of didn't for whatever reason. Okay, Unity, same thing. A lot of these shitty stocks, growth names came in. The flow says this is going to 120 here within weeks, okay, which could be significant. Obviously crypto's hot. Same thing here, QBTS, hot sector, wants to put in a new high. So I know that daily candle is over the linear and the Bollinger. Later in the week it's gonna want to squeeze above here. And then I don't know exactly where it's gonna go, but it has major squeeze potential. Okay, Coinbase, we got some nice moves, mainly that opening candle on Friday for 120%, I believe. When they absolutely ripped it, I sold here somewhere, then it went some more, and then it just absolutely killed the premiums. So what happens? You got a strong sector, right? And it's absolutely dumping on a Friday into the crypto act. Well, yes, is it also part of sell the news? Yes, but for this sector to go higher, you got to absolutely torch the future premiums that swing traders are holding to get them to average in and buy more shit to push it up. Okay, and also for the big boys to come in for the squeeze, because you know they're not gonna want 100%. They want to catch 1,000% move, understandably. Microsoft, that has been chugging us up now for a while. I don't think it's because of Office subscriptions. Had kind of a red day on Friday. Same thing, just OPEX torching premiums. Okay, Tesla, big week for Tesla earnings. Now, do I think they sold a bunch of cars? No. Do I care? No. I want to hear more about Optimus. I want to hear about AI. This thing still, in my opinion, has the most upside potential of any of these Maggie names. Even though it's not in the Maggie, it's a Maggie stock, right? This thing could be way up there. So just looking here at, yes, there was a lot of buying, boom, boom, boom. This thing has obviously been range bound, consolidating here for a huge move soon, in my opinion. That doesn't mean load it up into earnings. That can still come down. They could torch premiums, this and that, but this will launch soon. So if you fuck with it, buy time. Same thing with Apple here. Apple on its own Look, think about this. It's freaking Apple, right? On its own, gone absolutely nowhere since the whole shit show pulled the plug on things in April. It is packing one hell of a move. A Rick James sized move. Now let's see where we are here. Stowe is maxed out, just got the weekly cross there, you know, boom, flagging. So a few more weeks here. This is probably gonna rip on earnings, okay? Unless earnings are absolute dog shit. 89. I'm old enough to remember 124 right there. Boom. So in 2 quarters, the estimate 124 billion dump down to 89. I mean, that sounds like they're setting up Apple pretty fucking sweet in the earnings, right? Okay, before we dig into even more data, I just wanted to say here that all this decline, and I'm sure we will get some decline and more terrible thing, it's all gonna culminate in the biggest fucking rally you guys have seen in the shortest time. Okay, so it's very important if this tracks and we come down this week, that they're gonna put in a double bottom next week and they're going to fucking send it, and then that's probably the tariff dump, and then we start going higher, because then it's like, okay, well, now we know, you know, now we know. Then after that, you know, can we slap on extra tariff measures on China if they're not playing ball, this and that? Yes, of course. But it's pretty clear to me at this point that yeah, buy the dip, bro. Anyways, the NAMO. So this is clearly flagging here for a breakout, in my opinion. So any sell now, obviously anything can happen. I'm not saying, you know, don't be careful, but especially just to jump back to this point, especially if it's just a sell on Monday, a few bucks, and you hold here, I mean, it's buyable. We're gonna go higher. Anyways, the NAMO, right? Let's get back to it. So the NAMO didn't have the best day on Friday. It's still set up, it's just consolidated. So tech can go up. Are they saving it for earnings? What happened after JPM's earnings? It went nowhere. We were trying to play it a little bit on Friday. It did move. And what did we notice? Typical OPEX action where you fucking give back gains because you're being an idiot and you should be playing individuals, right? But it had a pretty decent day, right? This thing too is correcting, in my opinion, through time. It's chopping along, but it's regained. That's gonna bounce. It's probably gonna bring up the S&P 500 end of the week. That's why I'm like, give us that dippy dip on Monday or Tuesday. I mean, usually, you've heard me say this, the bottom is either on Monday or Tuesday post OPEX. Now on Tuesday, my readings are saying possible rally. Kiss and make up. Show daddy who's the real daddy. Well, I guess we're gonna find out on Tuesday, aren't we? So Monday's gonna be, you know, interesting. If we can catch some good premium plays, hell yeah. Otherwise, you know, this is pre-market. So if we, that's why Monday's plan is, if we come down here and we hold, we load. If we gap up and start going, that makes it trickier for us. All right. Tuesday, Richmond numbers, right? Fed Powell Wednesday, home sales, bond auction. You got ECB Thursday, first time not looking to cut. I don't know if, yeah. You know, if it would be hilarious if they cut just to spite the Americans. It would be funny. Because I think that would make it 11 cuts, right? Thursday, a little bit of wasabi. And Friday, durable goods. Then we go into the last week of July, which is going to end, obviously, with King of Kings. We're just gonna cover it. I got a lot of stuff coming up in the next few weeks, so I just want to point everything out for you guys. I'll still try to do as much of voice as I can, but anyways, why is it not showing it? You got that. Okay. Now, how do I read it? This is my read on things. No one is expecting a cut. You're gonna be here on FOMC. No one's expecting a cut. Okay. What are you gonna say to make it bearish? Imagine you even say, we're looking at 2 or 3 cuts down the line. Explosion. Cut. Explosion. The only thing that would be bearish is them hiking. Why do you have a big drop? Whether it, you know, a few years ago was the carry trade took us down here, blah 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 blah. It's gonna be the tariffs, okay? Fed's gonna say, we don't know what to do. If there's no tariff inflation, we can cut blah 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 down the line, probably here, right? We've sent out the letters. Okay, we've collected money for the government. Fantastic. How does that help the American people? It does in Fantasyland. But now you live in a system with a new financial system where all the corporations can make stable coins. Woohoo! And they can all collect the dollars while you are left with your tokens. Get it? Woohoo! That you can't hold or see. But it's okay, bro. It's as good as money. Amazon already doesn't take cash. It's not a big leap until Walmart doesn't either. Okay? So, that's why we have the Moon Train, where bright minds come together and help each other out. Because the stock market will never go anywhere. Right? I would think that a drop there would be more likely than, you know, right now shit just starting to hit the fan. That does not mean that you can't get absolutely screwed if you're buying SPX calls up here instead of down here. But that's why you got to check out also the trading course, use all the indicators, all of us use this and that, right? So that we speak the same language. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's look at some gamma whamma whamma. Where did you go? Where did you go? Here he is. All right, that 6270, he even shows up here, okay? This is not the most awesome GEX to play with. I know that shows all that could be rolling out. It didn't reflect in the price at all. The MOC was big though. It wasn't dump. So I think any sell right now needs to be fast. However, again, warning, early low that fails on a Monday could result in a sell. But some of you guys should be good if you have some of those Friday puts. But again, I never personally sized up. I like upside more than downside. It's a little bit different, right? But anyways, the DEX after a long time went red. Okay, very, very interesting. You also have that positive gamma there, could work, because we'd never like crack this area at all, right? Okay, fantastic. I posted all the new prints. We also have prints in the 630s, which I think would be capped to this week. So yeah, buying in the low 20s and hitting those 30s, I mean, you can make a lot of money doing that, okay? Now, let's take a look. You're also getting a lot of green delta here, right? And usually when that happens, like there, you do get a dump. So if there's also a chance, obviously, we start dumping big time. But, yeah, no. They did say they were gonna hold it at all-time highs, so I'm not gonna, you know, bet on that too much. You also see here, you got those levels, right? That I keep talking about. That's Monday's gamma. So you gotta pick your spots, in and out. Tuesdays, 635, 625. I mean, this is a playable area. I think the whole week's gonna be somewhere around that. 625 again. 633. Yeah, it pretty much lines up, right? With staying in this area. There's nothing super alarming popping out, and Friday has the biggest pull at 630. A few weeks ago, remember, I was like, man, we don't have any more upside gamma up until there. Well, now it's expanding, and it's even giving me, ooh, those phantom prints are spicy. They are spicy. I posted them in the ghost thing down there. But yeah, for next week, new phantoms from Friday, 630, 632. Okay, but anyways, we had some bearish prints though, right? That's pretty huge up there, which is interesting since price, if I'm not completely wrong here, never went there. So again, how can you have dark pool prints at a place the price has never gone to? I don't know. But again, circling back to the beginning, is this a hammer candle or will they fill the wick? And the 21 needs to come above this double bottom here, all right, for that to be the case. A lot of buying, but selling activity up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a consolidation week where the only way to make huge money is if your buddy works at any of the companies having earnings and let you know what's up. I mean, Google's been strong. What's Google gonna do? Well, gap fill? Why the fuck not? Am I gonna play it? Probably with Bill. You know what I mean? Because why was Google up there and now it's down there? Grok, sure. You know, ad revenue should be good still. So with that said, guys, I will see you next week. Give you a bunch of ideas. Please keep track of them. I can't remember everything. And I will see you on the moon train. God bless.